That then brings us to our public hearing. We have a first reading on ZOA 13-01, consideration and action on a text amendment to delete in its entirety and replace Article 12 of the signed ordinance of 2001, zoning ordinance of the city of Snellville.
Madam
Do I
Chair,
have a motion to waive the first reading and place it on our February 25th, 2013 meeting?
So moved.
There is a motion by Councilman Sabag. Is there a second?
second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Woods. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All in favor of waiving the first reading signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The first reading is waived.
Madam Chair,
Yes, sir.
I'd like to amend the agenda to add under new business a resolution. I'm not sure what the number will be for Johnson Lake Dam.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Further discussion?
I'd just like some clarification. OCGA has provision for adding an item to the agenda. So the fact that this was called an illegal motion is incorrect. I can cite OCGA 50-14-1E1 if you'd like to research it.
I'm familiar with the Open Records and Open Meetings Act. However, it says you can amend the agenda if there is a necessity or an emergency. This isn't something that, actually, I believe the Attorney General has given an opinion that this shouldn't be used for councils or commissions to avoid controversial issues by adding things to an agenda at the last minute.
Well, Councilman Sabag seems to think this is urgent. He said so in the work session, and I think we need to address that issue.
I don't believe that that goes to the legal definition of what is classified as an emergency or a necessity. But we have a motion before us. Is there any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of amending the agenda to add item number D under new business, a resolution, signify by raising your right hand. That's 4 in favor. Those opposed? It's 2 opposed. Item number D is added to the agenda. Moving back to our public hearing, we have item number B, first reading, consideration action on an ordinance to amend Chapter 46 of the solid waste. Do I have a motion to waive the first reading and place it on our February 25th council meeting?
Motion to waive the first reading on the ordinance to amend Chapter 46 solid waste, place it on the February 25th meeting agenda.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilman Howard. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of waiving the first reading and placing it on our February 25th council agenda signify by raising your right hand. That is 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. That now brings us to our new business, consideration and action on approval of the Snellville Tourism and Trade Association Agreement for 2013. Do I have a motion to approve the contract with the Snellville Tourism and Trade Association?
Motion to approve contract with Snellville Tourism and Trade Association.
There is a motion by Councilman Emanuel. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Kraus. Further discussion?
Yes, if I could, Butch, is this more directed towards you? In that contract under number 8, at some point I want to revisit that a little bit, clear it up a little bit for me. I'm okay with it leaving like it is, but we need to maybe look at it a little bit. Just a little more definition of maybe terminated by the city, but it doesn't necessarily say by majority of council, or it really doesn't say anything. So I'm just trying to determine what those parameters are.
I'd have to say is in regards to Clause 8, that it would be expected that would be a majority of the mayor and council vote to terminate.
I also expect certain things, but
We'll be glad to clarify that.
So are you asking that approval of this contract not be voted on tonight? Any further discussion? For those of you in the audience, just to clarify things, Snellville Tourism and Trade is the marketing organization for the city of Snellville. They receive our hotel motel taxes, and we have an annual contract with them on what services we will provide and what services they will provide in exchange to the city. They are a nonprofit organization for a marketing arm of the city. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approval of the Snellville Tourism and Trade Association Agreement for 2013 signify by raising your right hand. That's 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The motion and contracts stand approved. Moving on, consideration and action on award of a bid for digital voice logging and archiving system for the police department. Do I have a motion to approve the bid? Sorry, there's a motion to, is that a motion to approve the low bidder of DECA? Actually, I'm sorry, the second lowest bidder of Quality Recording Solutions, not to exceed $16,657.
That's correct, Mayor. That's my motion.
Actually, $15,662. Is that your motion, Councilman Sabag?
I'm just going back to the page. The lowest bidder for the digital voice logging and archiving system for the police department.
The second lowest bidder is the recommendation, Quality Recording Solutions, for the amount of $15,662.
The recommended bidder.
There is a motion. Is there a second?
Can I just ask for clarification? Are we, what is the motion? For the second lowest bidder, for the lowest bidder, as Mr. Sabag said, or what is it? I'm confused.
For Quality Recording Solutions, not to exceed $15,662. Quality Recording Solutions is the second lowest bidder. Their initial bid was for $16,570. However, we did not need all the services they offered, and so the recommendation is that we award $15,662.
Second.
Second by Mayor Pro Tem Witz. Any further discussion?
I'd just also like to clarify that they were the only bidder that met all of the specs in the offering.
Any further discussion? For those of you in the audience that weren't part of the work session, what this is currently we do not have digital recording of our 911 calls, and this will allow us to pick that service up now since we are on a new 911 system after the settlement of the SDS lawsuit. Seeing no further discussion, I'll call the question. All those in favor of approval of Quality Recording Solutions not to exceed $15,662 signify by raising your right hand. 6 in favor. All those opposed, 0 opposed. The motion stands approved. That now brings us to item C, Mayor's nomination and Council's confirmation of Callie Andrews, COO of Eastside Medical Center, to the Evermore Community Improvement District Board. Several months ago, our former appointee to the Evermore CID, Gary Lapidus, tendered his resignation. Since that time, I've put forward 5 names to serve on the CID board. Miss Andrews, I met her. She's new to the Eastside Hospital. We met her a few weeks ago and introduced her to Mr. Brooks, Jim Brooks, the executive director of the CID board, and she has volunteered to serve in that position. She is associated with Eastside Medical Center, who, as you saw in Mr. Ewing's presentation, still has property on Highway 78 that is in the 78 CID Improvement District. So I put forth her nomination tonight and ask council to confirm it. Do I have a motion to confirm Ms. Andrews' nomination?
So moved.
There's a motion by Mayor Pro Tem Witz. Is there a second?
Second.
Second by Councilwoman Kraus. Any further discussion?
Yes, I do. First of all, Callie, thank you for coming to our city, and thank you for taking over after Dustin's absence or promotion or sideways, whatever it was. We have not had a representation for our business people on Highway 78 in the CID for 16 months. Over that 16 months, we had one person nominated who did not get approved by council. The gentleman was, although very qualified, had no interest on the corridor, did not live in the city. We're so happy to get someone like Callie, who certainly has not only the equipment and skills to handle the men of the CID down there and keep them in line, but also has an interest in the corridor and is going to keep the city and the corridor at the top of her mind. So congratulations if this goes right, Callie. We look forward to working with you on the CID.
Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor signify by raising your right hand. 6 in favor, all those opposed, 0 opposed, the motion carries. That now brings us to item number D, a resolution. I will turn the chair over to Mayor Pro Tem Wentz.
Resolution 2013-4. Whereas Lower Johnson Lake is private recreational lake bordering a number of private residences and owned by Summit Chase Homeowners Association, and whereas the lake has been drained, leaving the facility in a state that is negatively impacting nearby city residents and creating numerous public safety and public health issues. And whereas the city is impacted by the damage to the dam due to a 24-inch conduit pipe running through the dam and under the roadway, and whereas the condition of said pipe is not one of immediate failure, but warrants attention and repair in the course of total lake management system repairs, and whereas the city has spent almost $34,000 to ensure the integrity of the dam and the safety of the traveling public on the roadway, and whereas the city has also provided the SCHOA a professional engineering assessment of the entire lakefront infrastructure with the hope of encouraging the owners to work with the city to move toward action to return the lake and its piping system to its original state, and whereas the city is convinced that the SCHOA should take action based on evidence that the contractor hired by the SCHOA or the contractor's insurance carrier may be liable for the damage to the lake pipe system, a recovery from the responsible party could help to underwrite needed repairs to the lake and dam, and along with reimbursing the city for its ongoing cost of mitigation. And whereas any delay of the SCHOA in pursuing action against the contractor negatively impacts the city of Snellville and the SCHOA with increased unbudgeted expenses for protecting the roadway from additional damage and related costs. Now therefore be it resolved that the mayor and the council of the city of Snellville do hereby encourage the SCHOA to take immediate action to seek financial relief from responsible parties in order to fund the repair of the damage and reimburse the city of Snellville for the expenditures which were directed towards the preservation of the roadway and the dam. Be it further resolved that should the SCHOA decide to expedite repairs prior to settlement in the best interests of its homeowners and neighboring subdivisions, that the city of Snellville will budget the necessary amount needed to repair the pipe directly under the right-of-way, subject to the City Council approving the appropriation of the funds after review of the final design of the needed repairs. That is the resolution. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve Resolution 2013-4.
Motion on the floor. Is there a second?
Second.
Any further discussion?
Yes, if I could, please. Just a couple of things. I just want to just make sure that we're reading from our city manager's report based on some meetings that have taken place numerous times. But one of the things the engineer stated, it says that the pipe was not in imminent danger of failure and that a deliberate schedule of replacement, not unduly delayed, such as the current period of inaction, and completed within 12 to 18 months would be acceptable. That's just one of the things. So one of the things that we're trying to do here is to make sure that we exhaust every possibility for the actual expenses of a private property owner and what they should and shouldn't do. So, we have an investment of $34,000 so far of not our own doing. So without the opportunity to go back to, who would be covered as the person that damaged it, we lose that opportunity, and as taxpayers, we lose that money. So we're simply encouraging the group to do what they should do. Now, if you think of the lake a minute, think of it as if it were a clubhouse, and somebody drove a car through the front of the clubhouse. Would you think the person that drove the car through the front of the clubhouse should be the one to pay for it? Or should you think we should use taxpayer funds to pay for a private property issue? That's what it really boils down to. So what we're hoping to do here is just get them to figure out, who caused the problem. We know that. And if they're liable, they should pay for it. Simple as that. It's nothing more, nothing less. It's not a football used by anybody on this council that I'm aware of, but it seems like it's being used for that. It's a pretty simple issue in my own mind. So we're just trying to do the things we got to do to make sure we recover and make the city whole.
Thank you, Councilman Howard. Any other further discussion?
Yeah, I have a comment. I don't know what the problem is. Delay after delay after delay. This problem has existed for the better part of 2 years in one form or another. I think we need to pass this resolution tonight. We need to get some forward movement. The longer it goes on, the longer the city has to pay for the siphon. To date, that's costing every taxpayer in Snellville $5. Not a lot of money. It's just not right. And you wouldn't want somebody on the other side of town to have an issue and have the city step in on a private lake and have your tax dollars used for it. Now, what complicates this factor is that we have a road going over the top of the dam. So there is some question as to who is responsible for what. The city unquestionably is responsible for guaranteeing the integrity of the road. That's difficult to do if you don't have the homeowners association cooperating with you, because this isn't a single pipe fix. We can't just go in there, fix the pipe under the road and call it a day. The whole lake system has to be restored, and that is incumbent on the homeowners association and on the contractor. And for some reason, there's been no action with the contractor and his insurance company, who is rightfully responsible for the damage that caused this. So we need to get this resolution passed. We need to get action. We need to get this fixed.
Thank you, Councilman Emanuel. Any further discussion?
Yes. I have been very quiet on this subject. I reside in Summit Chase. And I guess what I want to say is that I will not recuse myself from any vote that involves this lake, and that I am not in favor of 1 penny of taxpayers' money going towards a repair of a private lake owned by a homeowners association. Not 1 penny. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilwoman Kraus. Any further discussion? Seeing none, I call the question. All those in favor of Resolution 2013-4 regarding Lower Johnson Lake, signify by raising your right hand. That's 4 in favor. Those opposed? 1 opposed, 1 abstain.
I'm not abstaining.
I'm sorry, you recused yourself. I'm sorry. I turn the chair now back over to the mayor.
That concludes our new business. Now on for council reports.